Yeah, sure, we'll start now. Bada bing, bada boom. Ba, ba. That's right. Um, what resolution are we at? Should be at 720. Yes, we are. Okay. Posting the Twitter link. It's the Sunday stream. Yeah, that's something I normally do. It's not random, trust me. Hi, gamers. Let me pop out chat here. I picked this game to stream because it's something I can sort of just mindlessly talk over. I'm gonna turn the volume down. Is that good? Hi, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, I picked this one because it's something I can talk over, and you will see why that is very soon. Let me set it to live chat. So I don't really have a goal with this stream. I'm just gonna talk about things that have been happening, I guess. Whatever. There's no goal here. I'm gonna turn the army off for the first part of this stream. Let me know if you can hear the fan in the background, because I've turned on a fan so that I don't overheat. So the goal of this game is very simple. You are monster, you smash building, building have destruction physics. It's kind of astounding that the last time Godzilla did something like this was in 1998. Let me get that screen over here so I'm not distracted. So yeah, I don't really have a goal with this stream. I'm just gonna talk about shit. I'm gonna shoot the shit. Have I ever played Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door? No, I have not. I might play the remake. I don't know. I'm just not into the idea of spending $60 on a Nintendo game. This is not a Roblox game, though it's funny you say that. It's an indie game. You can buy it on Steam. It's more of a tech demo right now. It's not done. There was a Kickstarter for it, but it did not reach its goals, so it's gonna come out with updates a lot slower. Say it's worth the price? Okay. Godzilla, yeah. Godzilla. Have you guys been seeing the streams, the live streams that uh, Shout Factory's been doing? They've been doing live streams of like Godzilla and Ultraman. And they've just been going non-stop for the past couple days. I guess something like that was bound to happen, but it's just kind of weird to imagine like a Godzilla movie being more readily accessible like that. 5 years ago, that wouldn't be happening. It's also incentivized me to watch some movies that I never would have if I had the agency to. Like, I've been watching the Jackie Chan live stream every now and again. There's some good fucking movies in there. Like, even some of his old Shaolin stuff. The martial arts films. Oh, they've been doing that on Twitch? Yeah, that must be why I haven't heard of it until now. Here's a different camera angle. Just for something different. Controlling the monster like this is kind of hard, though. You gotta adapt to the camera angle. Do you think Shat Factory is going to release the MST3K episode? I wonder if they will. Because another thing is, like, I don't know, Toho might not like their movie being made fun of. That's a factor. Yeah, sometimes the game slows down like that. I wish I could turn that off. It might be a rendering thing, but it didn't do that before this recent update. Oh, what I meant by earlier was that there hasn't been a game with destruction physics like this since the Dreamcast game. Because Godzilla PS4, the buildings erupt in that one like they do in the Heisei movies where they flash and then they crumble. It's a presentation thing. Katakawa allowed them to release them on DVD. That's true, but also they're not as anal a company as Toho. It's hard to say. So, I've been playing Godzilla Battle Line basically every day now. Every day since it launched. More or less. And just in the recent updates, in recent seasons, I've just been feeling less and less inclined to play it. Because I feel like the meta has gotten too strict now. You can't really play with whoever you want because there are objectively viable options and non-viable ones. Like, I'd love to keep using Ultraman. I'd love to keep using Shin Ultraman. I'd love to keep using Naranga. But unfortunately, they're not as good as, I don't know, fucking Gigan 2004. It's all about finding the right team setups, and it's too strict. I'm in like the top 3,000 almost every season, top 10,000, whatever. I do not mean to sound like I brag. I've just been playing the game a lot. But I'm like I get to rank 64 like every season, and in those upper echelons the team setups are just fucking repetitive. It's really annoying. Which is a shame because I generally have fun with that game. I wouldn't say it fell off, it's just that the meta is too strict and boring. It was a good thing that they did to, I guess, make the season heroes, whoever's the unit of the season, they get like a boost depending on how far up the leaderboards you are. That's a good idea for variety. You also get to see the new units in action right away. But that's like an exception in a sea of, I don't know, Kiryus. real smart asses with their Kiryu leader that brings your unit down to 0 health when you get too close, when there's a time over. I don't know. I've been making more progress on the Mebius video as well. I've been trying to do 3-5 episodes a day. Making scripts is really difficult, especially if it's like a long-form series. Because you're always shifting thoughts and changing what you have to say based on different circumstances. When the show introduces a curveball in what used to be your tight analysis, it's a lot to consider. Am I going to G-Fest this year? No. It's not really a money thing, it's just I want to learn how to miss it. Because right now I'm not in the mood to go through the whole con experience again with that convention. I'd love to do it again with MagFest, but G-Fest I've just gotten kind of tired of. Once it loses its luster, you start to notice the cracks, the slight annoyances in the experience. And it makes you wish things were a little bit different. So that's why I think I'm not going this year. I want to let myself miss it, so that the next time I go, it'll be more interesting. The thing with Godzilla Battle Line as a pay-to-win experience, I guess the thing with how the leveling in that game works is that once a 4-star unit reaches level 5, it stops gaining incremental growths. So even if you did shell out money to maybe get a chance at getting more units to level them up, they're going to get like a plus 10 attack. Like, it's not worth spending money on that game. The only reason I think anyone should spend money on Battle Line is for like the season pass, which I myself have not bought in like 10 months, because that like not inadvertently, it was designed around it. That speeds up the process of upgrading units. But it's also for people who play like religiously every day, which I don't do. I will drop like an hour into it at most. And with like server connections as spotty as they are, it's becoming more of a chore. But yeah, I don't really see a reason to try to max out the levels of units. Will Mike Stacklasa ever free Rich Evans? No. Not until one of them is dead. Where is that plane going? Well, to the airport, obviously, but you know what I mean. Throwing a tantrum. What else is there? Oh yeah, I've been doing a lot more YouTube shorts recently. It's a format that earns me no money. I barely have an incentive to do it, but whenever I just have like a random thought of something, I'll commit like a 1-minute video to it. It's actually been kind of healthy. For like, I don't know, something I usually wouldn't cover or talk about under normal circumstances. I've got like 5 of them ready to go. I'm gonna release them in the coming weeks. And this is a very cynical of me to think about. This is a very cynical thing for me to say. But doing YouTube Shorts also puts my name out there when there normally wouldn't be something out there. Like, videos like Mebius are going to take like a whole couple months to finish. So what can I do in the meantime? Oh, I know. I'll put out like a 1-minute thing of me talking about fucking, I don't know, Ghidorah secretly being, I don't know, the Ghidorah cameo in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Because these are topics that interest me, but I don't know if they would make for a good video. The one that I just worked on is, like I just said, about Ghidorah's weird cameo at the beginning of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, where he appears in a flashback. There is no explanation for that. I posit the video like a question, and it's a question that I keep asking, because there is no answer for it. I also like talking about random dub differences. There's a short that I did recently about Submersion of Japan and how that got released under a different title here, and an entire hour of the movie was chopped off. I think that is a movie more people should know about. It also gives me an excuse to kind of double dip, because what I did with the Submersion of Japan video, I went back and watched the movie, and by doing that I also wrote a script for the Halloween special when I eventually talk about that movie. Hello. I'm gonna change characters here. I feel like we've seen enough in Rio. Actually, let's go meet Jesus. Let's go meet Jesus first. See, the weird thing about it being stock footage is they could have just shown explosions. They could have just shown explosions and I don't know. But they specifically have a shot of Ghidorah in it. It's like a still shot of Ghidorah, and you can hear his cackling. If you're one of those super nerds that believes that, I guess, that the Showa movies cared about their continuity, you could say that it's a vision of a potential future where Ghidorah destroys the world in Destroy All Monsters. Because the thing with that movie is that he never actually made it to a city to destroy anything. He just showed up at Mount Fuji and got his ass kicked. But so maybe the vision was like, hey, here's what could have happened. But again, that's like operating under the assumption that they cared about the continuity of these movies. Can I climb up this hill? I want to meet Jesus. Are there any kaiju you want to see in the Monsterverse? I want to see me in the Monsterverse. They should put me in it. Die. Okay, that's enough of Rio. They actually did a crossover with Dawn of the Monsters. It's It's Megadon from that game. That's a fun game, for the record. Bowser. Here's Raijin. This is their Kong stand-in. I guess I'll play with the army now. Kaiju Ronto, Polygon City. Let's go to Kaiju Ronto. The evil Scar King is going to fuck. So the thing with Raijin is that he's actually really fun. Having a top speed of more than 2 helps. The Scar King. Yeah, monkey mode. I can barely see through all the smoke. I have actually watched Yeti, Giant of the 20th Century. I talked about it in a video. Tornado crap. So, like, the thing about, I don't know, Kong's relationship with women, that's always been kind of a weird angle for the character. And I don't want to talk about the origins of it socially. But it was a thing that was, like, hyper exaggerated in the 70s remake. So when it came time to do the rip-off movie with Yeti, they amplified it, and now it's just fucking weird. King Kong as a romance is just kind of odd. I think the Peter Jackson movie had a good balance where it was more of like a mutual understanding of each other, maybe even a friendship. I'm not going to answer that question. Well, if they tried to kiss someone, they would crush them, so... Yeah, I enjoyed this guy way more. Fling crap. I don't know, Kong's kind of a weirdo. Is that a replay or did it happen twice? Screw King Kong, my homies love Donkey Kong. I talked about it earlier, Godzilla guy. I'm not going to G-Fest this year. I need to have time to miss it. I don't know, I'm just mentally not in the mood for it. maybe next year. I'm not that worried about COVID anymore. I wouldn't want to get it at all because I got it at MagFest and it was pretty awful for a couple days. But I know what to do when I get it now. Yeah, Burnout is the word for it. Burnout Revenge for the PS2. You can pick up stuff, but it's not really worth it. There's nothing to really pick up because it explodes in your hand. Golden, my breakfast is fried and chicken nuggets. Am I going to die? In 50 years. Oh, there's a new Smiling Friends tonight. I forgot. Can't wait. Have you guys ever seen Police Story? The Jackie Chan movie? I saw it again last night and I really enjoy that. It's a movie that very much coasts off the action of the opening scene. Like the rest of it is good, it's fine, but it's the action scenes that are like, holy fuck, this movie's got grit. This movie is reckless. There's an energy to the action scenes in that movie that is kind of unmatched. I can't recall that many movies that would allow that sort of thing to happen with stunt people. The director too, Jackie Chan directed that movie. If anything bad happened to him, that's the movie. It's over. I really appreciate the insanity of that movie. I have not seen Rush Hour. It's on my watch list though. Been meaning to see Meals on Wheels. I might do that after this stream. Yeah, I've heard of Armor of God. The situation with that movie's localization. That its sequel as well, because isn't it? The sequel was released first. It was called like Operation Condor or something. Maybe that's a different movie. Either way, they released the second movie as Armor of God, and then they released the first movie as Armor of God 2. It got fucked up. In general, I wish, like, the original versions of some of those movies were more widely available. I saw the original Hong Kong version of, Police Story 3. That's the only version of the movie I've seen. Because, I've heard that the more widely available Super Cop version makes a number of cuts that are contentious. Favorite kaiju from non-kaiju media? Oh my god. Broad questions like that. I don't know if I can answer them. Loved your retrospective of Ultraman 66. Thanks. Would you make another one? I'm in the middle of making another retrospective on Mebius, or unless you're asking me to make another one on Ultraman 66. which would be funny. Thoughts on Godzilla? He's kind of stupid. Where did it go? Where did the spike go? Oh, what the hell? Oh, he's on fire. What is this camera angle? Infernape! Yay! Have I talked about how I'm going through the Pokemon movies? Have I talked about that on stream? That is not how that should break. Oh, you could see the lack of textures on the bottom. I've been going through the Pokemon movies with a Discord group, and it's remarkable how little happens in those. For the past like 8 or so movies, I've struggled to think of a reason for them existing outside of promoting the next game, because they're not very good on their own. And they're all like, people like criticize stuff like Godzilla for being very similar across all of them, but like that is no more true than with Pokemon. It's all from the same director, it's all structured the same way, the plot's the same in all of them. It's just, I can't believe that they continue to fund movies like that. Actually, no, they don't. They stopped doing movies like this a couple of years ago because they realized that putting money into something that's going to be mediocre and is not going to sell well isn't going to sell well. I was not a Digimon kid, actually. Pokemon was my bread and butter. It's just, I've been going back to them, and I've just struggled to enjoy them. There have been, out of the like 14 I've watched so far, there have been like 3 good ones, like genuinely good ones. There was Pokemon Movie 3, the Entei one. I thought that one was pretty interesting. Destiny Deoxys was alright. The Lucario movie kinda slapped. I have read the Pokemon manga, the longer running one. I've only read like the Kanto arc though. I enjoyed that. How many Pokemon movies are there? 22. 30 if you count like TV specials and shit. Fan of Bionicle? I like watched a couple movies of Bionicle. I think I owned like one Bionicle, but I was more of a Lego kid. I think it's an interesting little experiment. It seems to have some wild lore. Bonkle. And like I still like Pokemon as a thing that exists. It's just that the movies and like the associated anime they have not held up. Ironically, I think a lot of the 4Kids stuff holds up better than when they changed the dub cast. Because those 4Kids movies, not very respectful to the source material, but they made like kind of funny changes. with these newer ones that are like dubbed by other people, they don't hit the same way. But like in fairness, the 4Kids dubs got really bad towards the end with Hoenn, because that was when broadcasting started shifting a bit further out. It got on more cable packages, so they had to conform and change the way they wrote scripts, and it was a bit more egregiously bad. Like the scene where they redrew like a giant rice ball as a sandwich, that was during the Hoenn arc. Mid-2000s 4Kids stuff was where like their most infamous changes happened, and that's all because they had to conform to new broadcast standards. Do I like Zelda? Yeah, I've partaken. Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite video games. I'm gonna destroy the Toronto Needle. That was easy. Hey, one moment. Oopsie. I dropped something. Do I like Doctor Who? I've partaken sometimes, but not consistently. Wasn't there a phase where America... It wasn't really... just it was like they were trying to hide the fact that it was anime. Because with a lot of video game box art from the 90s and the 2000s, and really into the 2000s, the late 2000s, they would redraw it so that it looked less cutesy. That's been a thing since forever, because they're just sensibilities that they think we wouldn't like. So that's how we got Ugly Sonic. That's how we got scary 90s gremlin box art Sonic, where he looks radical. Did I ever participate in Dinosaur King? Yeah. I watched that on the CW 4Kids. I don't remember much about it. I remember it being weirdly tragic. Did any of you watch, like, Beyblade Metal Fusion? I watched it because it was on during the mornings on Cartoon Network before I went to school. I watched, like, the first couple arcs of it. And like looking back on it, I guess even at the time I sort of realized it was kind of, it wasn't a very good dub. The guy dubbing the main kid was like very scratchy, very nasally. There isn't much that I mean, I ended up really liking the concept of Beyblade enough to get like the toys, so I fell for the advertising. Wow, that city's kind of fucked. But there's one scene in Beyblade that I've been thinking about for years. Am I dropping frames? Am I good? There's one scene in Beyblade that I've been thinking about for fucking years. There's a scene in an episode where this kind of posh, rich guy is like sitting at a big long table, and he's biting. He has a slice of pizza on his plate, and he's like eating away at it with forks. He's slicing into it with a knife, and he's eating it with a fork. And he says something to the effect of like, eating pizza with utensils is much more civilized. He just says something really weird like that, and I haven't stopped thinking about it for years. Wikizilla staff Beyblade tournament at G-Fest. Oh, I wish I still had my Beyblade stuff. I would have loved to compete. I had the Pegasus Beyblade, the blue one. And then there was a, I think it was Capricorn. It was like green. That one stayed up a little longer. See, the Beyblades in Metal Fusion, they had stats. And like, Pegasus was faster, but it fell over quicker. And the green one, like, stayed up a bit longer, but it didn't move around as much. And you could also, like, mix and match parts. Beyblade was cool. This is a fucked up city. I'm moving somewhere else. Sagittarius. I see. I will be right back in like 30 seconds. You can time it. I will be right back. That probably wasn't 30 seconds. Have I ever watched YTP SpongeBob? Have I ever breathed? Yes. Yeah, sure, let's do the basic bitch map. Timer at 31 seconds. Wow. Did the game crash? Uh-oh. It's gonna take a second, I guess. Oh, there we go. Let me read what I missed while I was gone. There's a new Beyblade? Oh my god. Oh yeah, I've heard of that story of the tub incident. I love that story. You should calm someone to draw Steffi as Robotnik from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll think about that. Robotnik has the bigger ass. The orb. Pingus Revengeance, the revival of the Pingus meme. I think history is cyclical. And things that were funny will continue to be funny. Snooping as usual, I see. Like, legit, I don't really care for a lot of that show, but Robotnik is fantastic. He carries it on his giant head. When did history get sick? Did they go to the doctor? We are halfway through 2024, aren't we? It's been another 2023. I don't know what else to tell you. I feel like I've put out a lot less. Not out of lack of trying, mind you. I've been trying to make shit. But my projects are getting too ambitious, they're getting too big, and I can't exactly put out something half-assed. So I have to put my full ass into everything. You can clip that one. Golden doesn't put out, confirmed. Not in my line of work, no. Can't imagine doing that. It's been one of the years ever. Also, I'm like 24 and time is beginning to dilate for me. It still feels like we're 3 months into the year. Well, actually, no. A better way of saying it would be days are blurring together. I wake up, I work, and then it's the next day all of a sudden. Congratulations on escaping college. It's okay to coast for a while, but don't be like me. I'm glad you liked the God Green Man video. Speaking of videos, there's a new one coming out next week, this Friday, if you haven't seen the community post. Oh my gosh! Holy shit, they go flying. Gonna take a monkey dump middle of the city. Oh my god. But yeah, Pokemon movies. I can't believe I got off that topic. What I wanted to say was the latest Pokemon movie that I watched. It was the first black and white one, not as in it was like the color black and white, but it's the first one from the black and white series, the one that they call Best Wishes. And they made one of the most ill-conceived ideas of wasting money I've ever seen for a movie. They made the movie twice. In one version of the movie, Zekrom is the good guy, and in the other version of the movie, Reshiram is the good guy. And there are like minor differences between the two of them. Like they change entire shot like positions, so it's not exact. And I watched both of them at the same time. I edited them like a week in advance to show the people I was showing it to. And they really did just make the same movie twice, but like change things ever so slightly. It's the... That's a penis. It's the endless eight of it's the endless eight of the Pokemon series, where it's just a useless waste of time and money. Because it's not like they were telling a unique story either. It's still like one of those generic... There's a guy who believes in something and he has a flying fortress that the characters scale at the end of the movie, and the fortress is done in CGI. And he's using the mythical Pokemon of the movie to power it. These movies are made in a factory. Which Pokemon MC girl is your favorite? I like MC Hammer. But no, I did like May when I was younger. If Sonic.exe attacked me, I would simply open Task Manager, rip y'all, but I'm different. Victini, I think you mean... I don't know. The thing with Victini and like all of those legendary mythical guys, there's a car in that tree, and all those legendary mythical guys is that they all functionally serve the same purpose in these movies. They are always like in trouble or on the run from the bad guy, and they are used at the end to power whatever big mechanical thing the bad guy has. And then Ash is like, no, fighting is wrong! Because these movies are made for 7-year-olds. I like Victini too. I'm just saying, like, functionally it's the same as Celebi and Manaphy and Jirachi. You know nothing about EXD on purpose. I know everything about what happened with the creation of that fucking thing because I watched or listened to creepypastas when I was like 12. And I know that the creator of Sonic.exe is a fucking weirdo. Not to throw shade on like a 10-year-old beef. But like the guy who made that was very protective of, I guess, the legacy that it had. And for whatever reason, some jackass decided to revive it as like a Friday Night Funkin' thing. And now we have to relive this discourse all over again. I say we, but really I don't have to relive any of it because I choose not to engage with anything involving Sonic.exe. It's just something that exists in the background that Gen Alpha kids can gawk at. It's something, the thing is, a lot of things on the internet you can choose to not look at. It's a great tip that I have for you. You don't have to pay attention to every like weird thing that's happening. It's okay to just ignore it and not respond to it, and then it dies. The thing is, like, I actually kind of enjoyed Friday Night Funkin' as like a thing. In fact, don't tell anyone, but I donated to its Kickstarter. But I'd feel bad admitting that because the community around it is just so weird. And I really should have rethought that. But that's not even fair, because like you can't really hold a game up to something it has no control over. I don't know. It's always been kind of this edgy property, so it kind of makes sense for the people who partake in it to be kind of weird. Friday Night Gunkin'. You see, the funny thing is, the funniest thing about my relation to Friday Night Funkin' is that the my avatar is from a mod that the artist did where they put me in the game. So that this avatar that you see in videos that like bops up and down, that was originally for a Friday Night Funkin' mod. I feel like this is information that should have stayed mysterious, but you heard it here, all 30 of you, all 26 of you. When's the Steffi mod? In hell. That's not a time, that's a place. That would cost a lot of money, actually, because that's a lot of sprites you gotta account for. I believe I have footage of the mod. I don't know if it works on whatever current version of Friday Night Funkin' there is. I mean, it's just sprites. I can't imagine there'd be like a... Ow! Can't imagine there'd be like a programming thing that got messed up. $11.34 would be hell. What's the worst piece of media that you absolutely love? Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I love that fucking stupid movie. Taco Bell, Taco Bell. Product placement from Taco Bell. I'm coming! Chosen one! Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. My god. You're right under the enemy's scrotum. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that? I feel like with any piece of media that you see when you're 11, anything that's like mass marketed and released when you were 11 years old, you'll probably have a fondness for it in some way. Me, I'm different. I went I learned how movies are made, and unfortunately I think my taste has kind of been broadened to include movies that I otherwise wouldn't see. So I have no love for those Transformers movies. I think they're dog shit. Their first one is kind of okay, but I can't bring myself to enjoy the other ones. They just do not hold up for me. See, I'm different here. No. I've got dog shit opinions too. See, I'm different. I'm worse. I'm pretentious. That's the difference. I did see Bumblebee. I watched that like very passively and it seemed fine. I have not seen Rise of Beasts. I hear that's a step down. Rise of Breasts. You liked Bumblebee because I watched it like a horse girl movie? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's a good way of putting it. That's a lot of people. I think Raijin here is about to die. I don't know if you can regain health. Oh, I love Pointless Hub's videos on the Bayformers movies. I like his videos in general. I saw his Planet of the Apes review recently. Rise of Mr. Beast. You see, I'm a contrarian. Whatever you like, I don't. That's how movie critic work. Go see Furiosa in theater. Or else movie die. Have I seen Garfield? No, I have no interest. It is Garfield. I think we've all kind of agreed that it's just kind of a mediocre property. No, movies that bomb either happen because they're not marketed correctly, or they're of a topic that the average person has gotten a bit tired of. Sometimes movie quality has nothing to do with how a movie performs. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it has everything to do with it. But oh well. modeler for Excidio here. Thank you for playing our game. You're welcome. I really like this game. It's fun. I hope more gets added to it. Big monkey. But yeah, like Terror of Mechagodzilla is like a perfect example of that sort of thing. It came out after a string of after just a stream of Godzilla movies, and like there was like a Godzilla movie every one Godzilla movie every 15 years. Of course, people would get sick of it. Also, in terms of like its place in tokusatsu history, like the conversation had already shifted. It went from like kaiju movies to giant superheroes to just regular sized superheroes. It's kind of the shift that happened with TV more so, but you can kind of see that with the steady dwindling performance of the Godzilla movies of the time. But yeah, that's like a great example of just it diminishing returns. They're talking about me on their Discord. Perhaps. I better not say anything creepy or weird. I think this city's about done. Let's go to the observatory. Who up diminishing their returns? We are kind of entering another phase of a kaiju renaissance right now, in terms of fandom at least. More people than ever are watching these movies because they're finally becoming more available. Some are kind of stuck in licensing hell still, but this is the first time in probably a very long time that you can just go on YouTube and watch a Godzilla movie. More so if you're in America, or like a country that is allowing that streaming option. But if you asked me like 5 years ago what the state of Godzilla would be, I wouldn't have guessed that like it was something people talked about. The Ultraman Blazar cast visited my city. Neat. We don't get that. That's one thing we don't get. We don't get the specialized visits from the casts of those shows. Megalon main bad guy in GVK 3. First movie to make $3. I'm a little more optimistic. I think it'll be more than $2. And Godzilla Minus One is kind of an example of a movie earning a lot through word of mouth. And also the movie being good, I guess, because of word of mouth. The word of mouth happened because it was good, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I saw the leaks of the Taiga series coming to the US on Blu-ray. Like Walmart kind of jumped the gun a little and listed it. It's not one of the better new gen shows, but you know, you can own it now. I'm a sheep. I will probably get it for completion's sake. Also, for when I eventually do a review, I need 1080p footage, and that's how I'm gonna get it. By supporting the official release. I haven't been watching the more recent Ultraman Rising trailers because they seem to be in let's show everything from this movie to market it to people who don't care mode. Like, they're not concerned with spoiling things. Oh. It's over. You have been... Baron, my son, we have been defeated. God bless these great United States. Goodbye. Just the phrasing of have been defeated. It's that fucking like a video, that AI video of like of it's this really dark AI video of like Trump bad, by the way, of him like swallowing, like telling his son, it's really dark, but like it ends with him saying goodbye because it was like an early AI video and they couldn't get the voices right. That's just been stuck in my head for a while. Goodbye. This plays Pink Studio. This will probably be the last thing I do. U.S. politics mentioned. Cringe. Weather. Fearsome Excidio has evolved. Oh, I can't see a gosh darn thing. Okay. At least he kept the gut. It's needless to say he's a character. We have been defeated. Goodbye. How much rain does Brazil get? A lot, right? Because it's near the... It's very lush and green. How would Joe Biden handle Godzilla? I think he'd just, like, stare at the screen. And then he'd go back to watching baby sensory videos. What else was there I wanted to say? Oh. I forgot that he had a guard. I guess that would have been helpful to know when fighting the military. Something I've noticed about Godzilla the New Empire tie-ins, whenever they have Godzilla in something, in like a Japanese product that's promoting the New Empire, they kind of refine the design to look a bit less like that, look a bit less anorexic. Because with the SH Monster Arts looks kind of good. Like, I kind of like the look of that Monster Arts. They made the face a little different, and I think they might have proportioned it so that the pencil waist looks a little more natural. Like, they did something to it. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. And in Godzilla Battle Line, they kind of like thickened him up a bit too. Obviously they had to because he needs to be in chibi for that game, but it's not evocative of the same look. They did something to him. They gave him sauce. Might as well show off the supercharge. Godzilla ate a burger. He's no longer in pain. Oh my god! Oh my god. That was so cool. It wasn't really like, I mean, Wingard kind of gave the final say on the monster designs that were in the movie, and I'd imagine he gave the artist that he got a description of what he wanted. It doesn't, I don't dislike the creature work done for his movies, but I just get the sense that it wasn't given as much thought as it could have. Because I ended up not really caring for the evolved Godzilla look. Whatever. We don't need to talk about MonsterVerse. We don't need to talk about it. Not every stream needs to devolve to that. So speaking of different things, Ultraman Arc, that's airing next month. It looks fine. I'm not super thrilled. I'm not like excited for it the same way I was for Blazar. Maybe it'll be good. I say maybe, it will be good. It'll be fine. It seems like it'll be fine. It's from the director of some Ultraman stuff that I didn't care for, but it seems to be at least be like a baseline kind of show. It's yet another throwback to the Showa era, which in modern terms means a monster from the past will show up, and this Ultraman kind of looks like an older one, except he wears body armor because they couldn't help themselves. I thought Blazar started off promising, but towards the end it kind of just got into a groove and it never really left it. It's all right, but it's not, it was never going to change like the standard or the status quo. And I think that's kind of what we need now, just an Ultraman that stands out. Not an Ultraman that stands out, but a show that stands out. Because when I eventually get to talking about these newer shows, I feel like I'm going to say the same things over and over again. I'm worried that it's going to come to that. That's not to say there aren't, like... What's going on? The fan is going crazy. But whatever. I know I'll find things to say. And there are definitely shows that are better than others in the modern day. But I guess in terms of... I guess the conversation of like presentation and direction is going to be a consistent, like... It's going to be consistent when I talk about it. Like, yeah, these fights look good, yeah, these fights look good, yeah, these fights look good. You know, I'm trying to say, like, a lot of the special effects stuff is very similar. And I guess tone as well. Obviously stuff like RB is an exception. But it feels like there's a baseline of this is what an Ultraman feels like, and this show is going to be a little goofier, and this show's going to be a little more serious, but it's all going to kind of look similar. We shall see. When I get to talking about Ultraman X, that's when the revisiting of these newer shows will begin. I guess it kind of already began when I did the Ginga video, but I've just kind of been I've been putting off the X video for a while. If it happens, it'll happen this summer or fall. Depends on how arduous the Toho science fiction video is going to be. Isn't Grieza from X? Fairly certain Grieza's from X. Golden, can you pause the game? I need a shower. Nuh-uh. Bah. But yeah, I'll be wrapping up soon. Is there anything else you guys wanted to ask me? Thoughts on Jedi Rocks? Very embarrassing. No good, George. What color should Godzilla be next? I think he should be purple. Wait, he already was. Golden, please talk about Godzilla home video release. I guess, yeah, that came out on Netflix recently, and it came out with an English dub, and I listened to parts of it, and it seemed fine. It's definitely not going to be the way I watch the movie from now on. But it's kind of, you can't really get mad about a bad English dub, even if it is bad. I mean, I guess it is kind of funny if it would be. It would be funny if it was bad, and it would be unfortunate if like someone who only ever watches stuff dubbed, that was their only exposure to this movie. But I can't really see myself getting mad at something like this because the original exists. I don't have to watch a version of the movie I don't like, you know? It would be a different story if it was 25 years ago, if the situation was like 25 years ago, where the dub was all you were getting. Because that was how it was for a very long time. Like, TriStar would release the Heisei Godzilla movies, and it was just the Omni Productions dub. Golden, are you based? No. Yes, TriStar, feed me the Mothra 92 dub. Nice! The dub for Rebirth of Mothra 2, in particular, I can't stand it. My biggest pet peeve with kaiju movie dubs is whenever they get an adult to voice a kid, which I understand from a logistical standpoint because you're usually not going to find a kid who can voice act well, at least. So you get, like, I don't know, Suzanne, age 42, to voice this 11-year-old kid, and it's very obvious and it's kind of creepy. Do I prefer the English dub of Godzilla Final Wars? No. But also, I like the old fart line. It's a weird thing, Omni Productions. I wouldn't watch any of their Godzilla dubs. I wouldn't watch that over the originals. But also, I think their dub of Ultraman Max is really funny. And I would watch the show like that. It's a weird situation. Fire breath and a laser beam. Imagine. Let's fight us a Pigmon! Oh, Pigmon! What are my thoughts / expectations of Ultraman Rising? I don't know. Seems like it'll be a fine kids movie. Its connection to Ultraman might be a bit tenuous, but it'll at least look the part. Will I ever stream Danganronpa? No. I own it, but I've never played it, and I don't think I would stream it first. Yeah, let's destroy the oil refinery and then I'll call it quits. Well, he looks like that because it's a stylized cartoon. I'm okay with that part. Because by the looks of it, from the bits that they're very clearly spoiling, other Ultraman kaiju appear in it. They'll probably only appear in a montage. But I don't know. They've had 5 years to make it look like Ultraman. It'll probably look like it. Is there like a hit and run meter? Because sometimes the character will just stop running. Pink. I am very pink, but I stink. Made of cotton candy. Destroy the oil refinery, Godzilla. Make the people happy. I hope Monster Arts will make a Suko figure so that I can drench him with milk and then throw him at the wall and like hear him shatter. Gamera is going back into the ocean with a city well destroyed. This is the end of the movie. Will humanity learn anything? No one knows for certain. The end? With a giant question mark? But yeah, that's probably all I'll do today. Thanks for joining the stream, everyone. Again, I've got a new video. It's coming out next Friday. It's on Iron King. You can watch it right now on the Patreon for like $1. But it'll release this Friday, June 7th, I believe is the date. Have a good night, everyone. Eat your veggies. I probably need to eat mine because I've been missing dinner. Have a good night, gamers. And thank you for modeling these characters.